Hello everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you're all doing very, very well. Welcome to another episode of the Day After podcast. Obviously we beat Wolves. Oh, nice of you to join me, Charlie.
Mate, if you think the Chelsea sporting directors are bad,
Go on, put it in the mic. Say it into the mic. Go on. Move along. I said to myself, Charlie, I said, you know what? Nobody else is here. I'm just going to fucking start on my own. Honestly, if nobody rocked up, I would have just done an hour on my own.
Right, people think the Chelsea sporting directors are bad. Wait until you've tried to use TFL on a weekday morning. Absolute shambles, absolute disgrace. And they don't care.
I'm the only person who doesn't live in London as well. And we have to come to the studio. I mean, I know it's not easy wherever you are, but...
No, I don't even live that far
Mate,
away.
Lewis is in Hammersmith.
Where is he? Where are you?
Oh, my God. Lewis has gone missing like Robert Sanchez, mate. What's going on? Well, I wouldn't say Robert Sanchez is missing.
No,
I think
he's very
much there.
Which is a problem, yeah.
But yeah, listen, before we get into the video, a massive shout out to the sponsors, Stocks FC. Think of it like the stock market. Not everybody uses the stock market, but it's a place where you can buy and sell your favourite footballers as stocks. So if you fancy making a little bit of money, but also having some fun as well, that's a great thing to do. Check out Stocks FC. There's a link in the description as well as a QR code. Check it out now and let us know how you get on. But yeah, I mean, Charlie, to be honest, I barely started when you walked in, but I think generally speaking, it was obviously positive yesterday. We got the win, and whenever you win, people are more positive. But there were a number of negative aspects as well. So I'm going to say we're going to start off with that. We'll start off with the negatives, and then we can go on to all of the rest of it. Robert Sanchez, I mean, he's probably a great player to start with. I mean, I interviewed Jacob after, and Jacob said Sanchez is rubbish, Jorgensen's rubbish, and you were holding the light. And I heard you laughing when Jacob was saying that, because even that surprised me. I thought, well, how can you say that Jorgensen's not good enough when he's not really been given a chance? And even with the mistakes that Sanchez is making, he's still given the benefit of the doubt by Maresca. So surely by that logic, Jorgensen, I mean, if you're giving Sanchez that much of an opportunity, you've got to do a similar thing for Jorgensen, because the tides are going to change at some point. You can't keep playing a goalkeeper who at some point is going to be costing you in the matches.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't know.
God. Oh, my
Here
God.
we
Here we go.
Oh
my. Oh, fucking hell. He's going for a piss on podcast. What is going on?
No, it's got to be done, mate.
Oh, my God. See what I'm working with, guys. See what I'm working with. Right, Ziad, come next to me. Apart from the poor timekeeping, let's get back to the goalkeeping scenario. So, I mean, Charlie, what's your take on Robert Sanchez?
Well, mate, we all know he's not good enough. It's that simple at the end of the day. So, yeah, I mean, there's not really anything else to say about him. We know that he's crap. Like, what else is there to add? He's given benefit of the doubt. Maresca again last night defending him. I think it was put to him that Sanchez is like 4 goals from errors from Sanchez. He's like the most in the league or something, and he was like 4. Be about how many times has he saved us, sort of thing. Which obviously he's going to stick up for him. He's not going to publicly criticise him, but how many more chances is this guy going to get? Because I can guarantee if an outfield player was making mistakes and delivering performances like Sanchez was on a consistent basis, they'd be straight on the bench. So I don't really understand why they're persisting with him, and it could be a decision which could cost us big time in terms of maybe Champions League football and whatnot. It's one of them where managers seem to always have at least one player that they just stick by whatever happens. All managers have one, and it seems to be Sanchez's, Maresca's, which is a bit unfortunate for us.
Oh, we're talking Sanchez.
We thought we'd start with the negatives.
Fair enough.
So, just get out of the way, and we can talk about the good stuff as well.
Yeah, drop him. It's now your decision. You're now choosing to die on this hill, and he nearly cost us again. 2 decent saves in the second half. Fair play to him, but we've never criticised his shot stopping like that. We know he's good when it comes to that situation. Man's just got the bozo gene, and it keeps coming back to haunt us. Yeah, he keeps getting given opportunities. The guy is basically untouchable in this squad, and I don't get why. So, the more he costs us points, the more you're going to be held accountable for it. But here we are. It's not anything we don't know about Robert Sanchez. He's going to do something stupid. You have gloves in your hands that are literally there to help you with your grip of the football. I can't help you. You can't even help yourself. Literally, like, they weren't even good at corners in that game. Nearly everyone was hitting the side netting. It was genuinely awful corner technique. They still managed to score from one. Get rid of him. Drop him. Give Jorgensen 5 games. People act like Jorgensen ain't good enough. What surface level have we seen for people to come to that conclusion? He's had 2 league starts and he was fine in both of them. I mean, give him a run of 5 starts. If he ain't good enough, we know.
I thought that against Heidenheim, Jorgensen was fantastic.
Yeah, he was,
I mean, isn't that the most amount of saves that we've seen
it was like
from
a record.
Chelsea keeper on record since
But I think
they started counting those stats or something like that?
I know there was a lot of stops.
But I think a lot of people would have said last season they weren't that sure about Petrovic, and then he basically played the whole second half of the season. He played really well, and we'd all have him in goal right now, and he's at fucking Strasbourg. So. You know,
he's got the best passing stats in Ligue 1 this season.
Does he?
He's
Our best goalkeepers are always at Strasbourg. First Sells, now Petrovic.
Well, I think Sells, people say, oh, you know, we should have got him, but we would have never said that at the time. I mean, it wasn't blatantly obvious like you could say about
Strasbourg
Petrovic.
fans were rioting about his departure, so there was something there.
I just know he was a senior player at the club, and obviously they were getting rid of all their senior players, and that's part of the reason I think they were so angry was because
and he's gone to Forest and he's been one of the best in the league. Well,
yeah.
Do you need data for that?
No, I'm not disputing that. I'm just talking about when he was at Strasbourg.
No, I hear it, but it's just they'd know more about the player than we would at the time.
But Jorgensen
all the data says Sanchez.
Jorgensen should be just given a run of 5-10 games. Like we don't know how good he is. Yeah, okay, he's had a couple of poor games or whatever, but we've got no idea how good he actually is because in a Conference League, you're not going to really find out that much because in theory, he shouldn't really be having a lot of work to do in those games against that level of opposition. So I think he played in the league against Southampton again, very little to do. There was one game, I think, where he come out himself afterwards and said that he weren't at his best. You know, he held his hands up.
I think it was Morecambe.
Yeah.
Second half
he was a bit shaky, but at this point, how is he any worse than what's currently in goal? That's how you have to look at it, right? You're going to make if you make a change, I can guarantee you he's not going to be any worse, is he? So why is he not just given a run of 5-10 games to show what he can do?
What do you think, Ziad?
It's disappointing, man, because I backed Sanchez. I did back him.
When did you stop backing him? Just out of curiosity.
No, it's just I agree he should be dropped. So I think that's the line, man.
No, but I'm just curious. Like, what was the point where you gave up on him?
Yesterday.
Just yesterday. Well, it's better late than never, isn't it?
Yep. Fair enough.
It's like listen, enough is
enough.
Man.
Do you remember, Lewis, City at home 2 years ago when I saw you? We lost that game 1-0.
Yep.
And I said, I understand, Lewis. And we were talking about Havertz.
Yep.
I was like, I finally understand what you've been saying.
I was like, bro, 2 years, but we already know. I don't even need to get into Havertz debate. Sanchez, fair enough. The ship was like literally going underwater, but he managed to get out in time.
Listen, man. We need top 4. That's like it's a must. There's no excuse, and that's for the players, for the managers as well. There's no excuse. We have to get top 4. And if Sanchez is going to be the reason we don't get top 4, then I can't be backing that, man. Enough mistakes, man. We saw the games earlier in the season, Arsenal, Liverpool. He has saved us in a few games. That's fine, but that's just him doing his job. You know, you making those mistakes is not you doing your job. And that's going to cost us games and points, then so he needs to be dropped. But listen, it's on manager now. It's on Maresca. He's got to drop him. You know, that's enough. Jorgensen, I'm sure, is good enough to be playing, and he won't be making silly mistakes. He'll be able to carry a ball and not slip out like he's got I don't know what on his hands. And that's simple as that. We got to continue that way, and Maresca's got to change it. Maresca's not going to change it, and we end up not getting top 4. Then he has to go. I'm not having this no more energy of give him time. I'm sick of it. My last 2-3 years has been talking about managers and give them time. I don't give them time. I'm sick of it, man.
We haven't given anyone time. What are you talking about?
Do the job. No. But how many times Pochettino out or Poch out? Poch in or Poch out? Pot in. But listen, it's all long now. I have a headache. Okay, do the job in a year or don't do the job or get out because the squad's good enough to get top 4. There's no excuse to losing out on top 4 bloody on Newcastle and whatnot. So. You got to make the changes. That's a goalkeeper, that's striker, that's 10, whatever it may be. Just make the change and make sure we get top 4.
I do think that we can get top 4 even with Sanchez.
Yeah.
But we're going to obviously need to play much better than we would.
We
if
need more
wasn't playing.
players.
I said this to Nina yesterday.
No, we do though. That's the reality, mate. We spent over £1 billion.
Sorry,
quid.
are we still talking about goalkeepers here?
No, just
right.
in general, talking about making top 4. Like people, if we don't make top 4, people will blame the manager. And look, there will be some aspects of that. But if he's not backed and given the tools that he needs to do the job, then then the complaints have got to be directed above the gaffer. Because how many years have we needed a striker for? 3 years minimum. Mm-hmm. Don't have one. How many years have we needed a goalkeeper for? Don't have one. How many years have we needed a top centre half for? Don't have one. How many years have we needed probably another midfield player? Don't have one. We got in-house solutions to deal with midfield depth, right? Enzo injured. Lavia injured again. Caicedo is being run into the ground. Going to be injured soon. Guarantee it.
Oh,
Dewsbury Hall obviously started last night. Actually done okay. But he's not trusted. And there's question marks whether he's going to be here. You've got Ugochukwu on loan at Southampton, right? Why on January 1st was the phone not picked up and then recalled? Why?
You know they've already recalled Cher Charles just in case they bring him back. And they're also looking at another midfielder from Rennes. What are we doing? Hurry up.
I think the other aspect of that is if we don't recall what's his name? Ugochukwu, then you've still got a chance that the other player that Southampton recall will get game time instead of him anyway because he's their player. So that's the risk that you're running now. So it's in our hands. I mean,
but it's self-sabotage at the end of the day. It is self-sabotage. You cannot rely on Romeo Lavia. Enzo now injured. As I said, we're just waiting for a Caicedo injury. At some point, it's going to happen. If he keeps playing every game and getting run into the ground, there's zero midfield depth, and we're 3 weeks into the transfer window now, and it's not even like you have to spend money to do it. So why has it not been done?
With Garnacho.
And Garnacho's agent was there last night at Stamford Bridge. I don't think that was a coincidence.
Well, do you know what? Going on the subject of Garnacho, I thought I'd pull up some stats, right?
I can't believe
because
we're on a pod talking about Garnacho.
Mate, he's not even better than any of the wingers we've got.
I am not advocating for the signing.
To Ziad on the way here. Fair play. We found a way to downgrade on Mudryk. I respect it. I didn't think you could. Fair enough.
But let me go through them anyway, because
and that's not even banter. Mudryk is a better player than Garnacho.
Fair enough. So let me just go through this. And this is where this has to be where the ownership or the recruitment are looking at Garnacho, because they can't be just looking at his performances week in, week out. They've got to be looking at
what
something.
else are they looking at?
Data, stats,
brother.
improvement. So 22-23 season, 37 games, 11 GA. 23-24 season, 50 games, 15 GA.
Oh,
so it's and then so far this season, it's 32 games. Is that so far? 32 games with 13 GA. So he's on course to improve each season, but the question is that improvement enough to warrant signing for Chelsea? I just want to say, I don't think we should sign Garnacho in January. I think that's stupid. I think it's silly. I do think
January. You didn't even need that.
No, leave that January bit out. What we need to do is
in the summer, if he was to improve.
No.
Hang on a second. If he was to improve, he's on 50 grand a week at United. All right, fits into the wage structure, and if we can pick him up for pennies like we did with Sancho, then it's low risk,
Sancho's
low
way better
cost.
than him.
No, but I'm not saying he replaces Sancho. But for example, I don't know if you. I don't know if.
Well, why we got
you
a
think he's
reason?
better than-
This is garbage, man.
Well, I'm
the
just
only
trying.
argument you got is the wage structure.
No, but I'm saying that's how they will be looking at it at the club.
Oh, so does
I'm
he
trying to
improve us? No, but he fits the wage structure.
I'm trying to justify
No,
why
I
they
fit
would
the
look
wage
at
structure.
him. I'm not saying that I want him. I'm trying to because I'm.
You're saying it from their perspective.
Yes, I'm trying to look at it from
All
their
right,
perspective.
here's it from Clearlake's perspective. I'm stupid.
All they're looking at is resale.
Well,
They're looking at resale
Garnacho
value.
when I need a direct forward.
What
I
we
need
need
a
to do
striker
is-
with box presence.
You're
bringing Garnacho to the table.
We need to hope.
Oh my
We need to
goodness.
hope.
I don't mean you. I mean them in general. This is so stupid.
We need to hope that Conte's got one more gift for us, and that is to push for the Garnacho deal and save us.
How much is he? I mean, they want
60
like,
million.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Their price is
59
Fucking
million. Yeah.
million.
ridiculous. I would pay
But-
30,
but-
pushing 35
That's never
max.
happening.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
it's
That's what I would pay.
It's
That's
60 million.
25.
No, I wouldn't pay 60 million.
That's
No, I wouldn't
25
pay
too
that.
much.
No way. So let me just say, when I talk about this deal,
is trash, garbage, basura. I don't want him near my club. This
Yeah.
guy is he has got the ego of Ronaldo and he's got the ability of Cuadrado. He's a bum. I don't want him here, man. He's selfish. He's got no end product. Garbage player. Why are we looking at this guy when we're looking for a forward with some goal threat, someone who's actually proven themselves? And they're looking at Garnacho. We've been screaming for a striker. We've been screaming for some experience in the squad. Garnacho. This is disgusting, man.
you really are disgusted.
Garnacho, are we kidding ourselves?
Spending 60
I always
million,
say, like,
that's
my
mad.
guy Flawless, he said this perfectly. Look at the way the rivals talk about a player if you're going to buy them from them. Why are United fans celebrating this? The same way we celebrated Mountain Kai going. Because he's trash. He is garbage. Every time I watch United play, he is trash. And we want him. It's a disgrace,
The worst
man.
thing is, it might actually. I can see it happening
I
as
think
well.
so.
The
I think
agent
it
was
will
at the
happen.
game
Yeah,
yesterday.
I
think it will happen.
I think it's happening,
I-
but
I
that's
just
where
We had
wanna
more
say
talks
if-
today.
Yeah.
yeah, that's
I
where
think it will happen.
Conte, please save us. Please save us.
When you say 60 million, I completely agree. That is ridiculous. I mean, that's
That's
Could
Mine,
be a
but
60 million down the drain. Garnacho's again. No, that's never happening. Even if he comes, I'm never saying them.
I swear, Garnacho joins and he gets a chant before the likes of Jackson and Caicedo. I might genuinely lose
But
it.
if you look at it this way, yeah, you're spending 60 million on a player that you can't guarantee starts for us every week.
It doesn't start for us
Do
every
you think
week.
he's just
That's
a
what I mean.
replacement for Mudryk? Do you think
What,
they're just
60
trying to
million on
cover?
someone
Do you
He's
think
a
they're trying to cover?
downgrade.
Well,
No, it would be cover, of course
Yeah.
it would be. What I'm saying is,
But
right,
60 million on a
this
cover.
is not one. We don't need a wide player right now this window, and two, this signing like Garnacho is not some sort of unbelievable market opportunity that you go and do it in January because it's some ridiculous deal. So it's neither of those things. Don't need him. They don't need a wide player now, and it's not an unbelievable opportunity in the market. So you're thinking of dropping 60 million, right? You've obviously got 60 million to spend potentially. So why are you not spending 60 million on a striker instead that we actually need to help the team?
Yeah, drop down Delap.
60
I'm
million.
with you
That
there.
60 million. If you the 60 million you're thinking about spending on Garnacho, if you put that on Ipswich's table, the lap comes and it helps us out massively.
It completely takes away any credibility from the fact that we've actually approached smart business as well, not trying to spend too much and still getting a lot for what we're paying. That's why I quite like the Tosin deal, for example, because we got him on a free. So, if it doesn't work out, it's not really the end of the world. But if you're spending 60 million,
either though. That's the thing.
no, but you're spending 60 million. It's just a bit strange, really. I mean, that's the way I look at it. And then you're putting all of your hopes in a striker who was 35 million. And I'm like, well, that's where we need a bit of help. Why are we not putting our money into giving Jackson some more support? Let's move on.
Alejandro Garnacho. And...
Mate, when that here we go comes, because I think it will come in the next 2 weeks, it's going to be bad times.
It actually might happen.
I do think he
I'd
goes
accept-
Napoli over everything, but
I
if we
hope
even
so.
drop a bid, I'll be disgusted.
Napoli need the left winger now, so
They got the Varaskelia money to spend as well.
yeah,
so,
let's go. Come on, Napoli.
Even
man.
then, imagine going from Varaskelia to Garnacho.
Yo,
man.
McTominay needs to go onto the phone
Holy
to Garnacho, man.
downgrade.
He can link up with McTominay again in Napoli.
Yeah,
That'd be
McTominay's
nice
got
for
the
him.
phone, man.
Yeah, Lukaku can enjoy that curse. Keep him
Yeah.
as far away from my club as possible. And his brother, get the fuck away, man.
His brother.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
done
I think I
some-
didn't see his
some
tweet about Cole
yeah.
Palmer ain't gonna get 10 goals without penalties. Yeah, get the hell away from my club.
What?
I think it was in the end of last season. It was in the summer. He done a tweet about saying that Palmer won't get 10 goals this season or something.
Without penalties.
He's deleted it now as well,
Yep.
by the way. Yeah.
Garnacho's
getting
brother.
cooked after
Yeah,
every
He's
goal.
mouthy on Twitter, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. Right, let's get into the front line then, since we're talking about Garnacho. I mean, let's start on the left, shall we? With who was it? Pedro Neto,
Neto.
and then we had Madueke on the right side as well. Ziad, let's start with you.
Not good enough, really. I said this to you yesterday. I don't think the way Maresca sets up the team gets the best out of these wingers. I think that you're asking them to do way too much. I think every time we go forward, the only options are to go wide. And it's easy for the team to defend, especially if they're sitting back. You're expecting Neto to take on 2-3 players, then cross or get an assist, and then score a goal. You know, like we're talking about Palmer, Jackson only being our attackers or being our main threat. That's because the wingers are completely isolated. They're expected to do too much. But I still think they're good players. Noni Madueke, listen, I think with Esteval coming in and whatnot, I do think he's probably going to end up going. But Pedro Neto, I think, is a top player. And we've seen him this season on the left and on the right perform. But I just don't, I think Maresca's system is not helping them. I don't think it's a coincidence that all of a sudden the wingers are not performing well or not living up to expectation. Because I think at the start of the season, it might have been the opposite. You saw how Sancho was linking up with Enzo Fernandez and Cucurella. They were playing quick football. Now it's literally they're their only outlet. They're their only options going forward. Palmer yesterday was doing circles around the pitch trying to find someone, and he always ended up going to the left or to the right.
Do you not think part of that is down to at the beginning of the season we played against less low blocks than we are now, and we've always struggled against low blocks, and that's just a factor as to why we're maybe not playing free flowing football like we do when we've got more space.
I also think there's a way of playing football. There's a way of you having a style, and it may be different when you play a low block, but it can't be that different. Palmer's having no options, or we've only got options to go wide. Help someone, bring someone closer to Neto. Let Dewsbury Hall come closer to the wingers. At the start, we saw Palmer playing right next to Madueke. Now we're not seeing it at all. Palmer's nowhere near him. Palmer's in the middle of the pitch, passing all the way to Madueke. Madueke's got to take on everyone and be expected to score or get an assist. I think it's a bit harsh. But yeah, Maresca, I think, needs to change something for the attack. I think it's a bit harsh. Now everyone's talking about we need wingers. Listen, I think Sancho, Neto, Esteval coming in next season, I think it's fine. Palmer's an option there who never gets played there, but yeah, I think it's more Maresca than if they're not performing really. I might be a little bit harsh because, listen, like I said, I'm not doing this thing of no top four, so maybe I'm trying to pinpoint every little thing, but in terms of them, yeah, I think they're being asked to do too much.
Boys?
Yeah, I kind of just feel like it was one of those games where if you have a bit more aerial threat, they both look a bit better. Because in spite of the fact that I didn't think both of them played well, one thing I thought both of them were doing well was crosses into the box. There were some really good deliveries. It's just no one in the middle. So it's all just ultimately going to waste. Other than that, I thought both of them were very sloppy. In possession, Neto's tripping over the ball half the time. Noni's chasing his touch. Both were getting dispossessed relatively easily. Didn't really give us anything to work with on either side. And Sancho came in and just outperformed the pair of them in about 30 minutes. So yeah, I didn't rate either of their performances personally.
I don't know, it certainly wasn't the best. Obviously, we do need a lot more output from the wide players in general. But Lewis is right with what he says though. Like Neto and Madueke are putting decent balls into the box. Obviously, the Cucurella goal comes from a ball into the box that gets flicked on from Dewsbury Hall, and he finishes it. The problem is though, like there's no striker with a box presence and with a threat in the box that could take advantage of some of these balls being put in there. And the conversation around the wingers would probably be very different if we had a striker with box presence who would probably put away a lot more of those chances and convert a lot more of those crosses. So people got I've seen Neto coming for some criticism. Yeah, of course he can do better, but ultimately, if you're criticising Neto for not scoring goals, then you're misunderstanding what he is, because he was never a goal-scoring winger. He didn't score that many goals at Wolves. He was always creative, and he's not scored that many goals here. Yes, that aspect of his game needs to improve, but we're not exactly playing to his strengths necessarily. You've got Jackson, who's good at what he does, but box presence and good in the air and getting on the end of crosses is not really his thing. So again, it comes down to a recruitment issue. You sign Pedro Neto, but you then got no one in the box to take advantage of what he's best at.
I also think the movement off the ball when these wingers do have the ball is terrible. Jackson yesterday was so lazy, just ball watching. I think Palmer, sometimes he moves around in the 10 on the edge of the box trying to receive the ball, but not as much as I think maybe Nkunku or Felix would do. And Dewsbury Hall, he's not that kind of agile player to be coming in and out. So I don't think it's not easy for these wingers. They look up, but then they just got players staring at them. They want movement. They want someone to come short, link up, play with them. And you just don't see it happen. The 10s are supposed to be there to be able to link up, play, and help their attackers and the wingers, or the striker and the wingers. But they don't. They just ball watch them. So I don't think that they help them, to be honest, the 10s.
Yeah, I thought Jackson was poor. Yes, I think he was really poor. And I was on the podcast last episode saying that, he and I still believe that Jackson will get you 20 goals. I really do. He's shown that when he's in form, he's in form. He's as good as anyone when he's in form. But then you have a period where there's a dip, and I suppose that goes back to the debate of bringing another striker in, and also the management from Maresca, not just in terms of the striker, but in terms of who you're playing the striker alongside. Pedro Neto. Why would you expect Pedro Neto to thrive when he's got nobody in the box to receive the balls he's putting in? So that makes you question the manager, and then you've got Nkunku.
To be fair, we were meant to be bringing in a striker with that in the summer, and we just didn't. Duran and Roddy on, innit?
Well, I mean, West Ham just put a £57 million bid, which was rejected.
That was a fan pleaser. They know that was going to get rejected. It was just them.
Really?
Yeah, mate. Villa have already said they
seems
want
like quite
upwards.
a serious bid, though, I would say.
No, it's not a serious bid when the asking price is over 70 mil. It's not.
Yeah, but is it serious for Duran to be worth 70 million in the first
No,
place?
yeah, at least they're showing
Garnacho.
well, exactly. At least they're showing ambition. But yeah, that's more of a fan pleasing bid. Look, we're trying to do something, but the reality is it's never going to happen.
I mean, Duran is exactly the profile we need at the moment.
That's funny you say that, because remember we were linked with him. What was it, a year ago now?
This
summer.
summer.
The deal was there. We were linked with him in summer as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and January too. Yeah.
The first time we were actually linked with him was over a year ago. Well, no, like, who the hell was that guy? Who the hell is that? Everyone were getting laughed at, including Chelsea fans. And now he's probably, you could argue top 3 options for strikers. Well, I mean, you could list 3 strikers you would take over Duran. Probably, maybe 4.
That's realistic.
He's one of the best number 2 options in the league.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so recruitment.
When you look at striker depth,
maybe
Aston
Garnacho is
Villa-
what we need. Bro,
No, there's.
Hey, yo, Garnacho.
bro listen, they were the first to Duran, innit?
I'll let him
I
prove
don't
me
know.
wrong. I am not going to be with it. I am not taking it.
All I'm saying
any
is they were
copium.
first to Duran. They were first to Duran.
Yeah, I know. And if
So-
they have some other no-name striker they're interested in, cool, bring him.
A year
I've
later, you
no-
got West Ham
But that's
bidding
a
60 million.
striker. If it fits the profile, Garnacho, man. I've watched enough. He's a scrub. He's an absolute scrub. And unless he joins us and proves me wrong, I ain't hearing it. I ain't hearing it.
I don't think it will happen. I really don't.
It better not.
They're not that stupid.
No,
They're-
mate, no,
They're
they are,
already
mate.
talking.
No, they're just talking, Lewis. It's
Why
like
are
when
they
you-
talking?
It's
You're not
like,
talking,
everyone
listen,
talks
no,
about the London dating
No,
scene.
Why are they
no,
talking?
You have a date, but
No.
it never really turns
No,
into
no,
much.
mate, this is
Why are we
different.
talking?
There's
There's
been
no reason.
multiple conversations, mate.
Yeah, but it's like Tinder, isn't it? You've sent a few messages, and then nothing much.
You need to prepare for
You don't
the
get
worst.
much from it.
I
That's
understood
just-
in
that's how it
December when it
works.
was like, yeah, we're inquiring about Mino, they were inquiring about Nkunku, whatever. They talk about players because Chelsea always do that. Someone comes in to talk about one of our players, we'll talk about one of theirs. Talks yesterday, unwarranted. His agent at the bridge. Why? Why is he here? No, sorry.
He's there for one reason, mate. To try and do a fucking deal. Why else is he there? He's not. He's not
Exactly.
interested in watching Wolves play, is he?
I'd like to believe he's there for the hoop session. No.
No. Mate, he's there to
Clearly
talk
trying to
business
chat
and
to him.
money, mate. That's why he's there. No other reason to be there.
Garnacho, bruv. It's disgusting.
We should do like a video count of how many times Lewis says.
Like, I'm genuinely disgusted with it, bro. We're talking about needing like some key experience and goal threat in our attack. You bring me this scrub. Really? What fucking data is telling you that Garnacho is the game changer in this team?
It's another winger that don't score goals. Exactly what we need.
He is a downgrade on Mudryk. Mudryk is a good passer at least. I look at him as I just give him the ball and give him options to pass around. Fine, he can do that at least. The fuck does Garnacho do? Other than run.
So
See that silence?
Yeah, we've got a problem.
I mean, I think they're pretty
Fucking
similar in terms of
Garnacho.
level. I think Mudryk and Garnacho are very similar. I'm not. I don't think Garnacho's a massive upgrade, but I don't think there's a big difference.
I think he's a straight downgrade, and I respect you're able to find one.
He's just basically Timo Werner that doesn't fall over himself.
Basically.
What about the midfield, guys?
Actually, no, Werner's selfless. He'll assist. And Garnacho won't even fucking do that.
What about Dewsbury Hall? Because I was really happy with Dewsbury Hall yesterday.
he done all right, mate.
Yeah.
I thought that he wasn't doing anything special, but he just does everything you want a midfielder to do. And I saw him spraying a few passes. I thought, okay.
And that second goal don't happen without him making that run from midfield into the box. He flicks on the Madueke cross and then Cucurella finishes. So look, he didn't do anything unbelievable, but considering that's his first Premier League start, first game he's played for us this year, I thought he did all right, you know. And if people have got different standards for him, fun. But like he's not a regular starter. He's come in and he's done a decent job. Now he's probably going to have to play against City away, which is okay. That's not ideal. That's going to be a big step up. Is that caliber of game too big for him? Quite possibly could be, but you know he did all right yesterday, and I'm pleased that he's getting some games because obviously it's been a complete shambles that whole move. Nothing really his fault. What it does highlight though is that we're just committing self-sabotage in midfield. As I said earlier,
no midfield options on the bench.
There's no midfield options on the bench.
Yeah,
None.
I think that the when you talk about self-sabotage as well, you think of Casada, you think of Chukwuemeka, who I'm not saying are good enough, to start straight. Well, actually, Chukwuemeka is good enough. What am I talking about?
Yeah.
Chukwuemeka is more than capable of being in this team. I would take Chukwuemeka ahead of Felix, for example. I think he's a better player than Felix. But yeah, that's just my opinion, based on what I've seen.
He
at
might
Chelsea.
be more creative. I keep thinking Felix should just be our second striker option.
You've said that before. I mean,
he's too selfish to be a 10. Part of me thinks that's why Nkunku struggled in the 9, because he just goes to shoot. Anytime Nkunku's in a good position, what's Felix doing? Shooting. Because that's his mindset. That's the sort of player he is. Okay, put him in the wings or up top.
Has he ever played as a striker before?
He probably might have done a few false 9 minutes for us or something in 22-23. But in general, I look at him and it's like, if you don't trust Marquis as the second option, just play Felix there.
Felix doesn't have end product.
No,
but at least he'll shoot.
He's
direct with it.
He does shoot.
I mean, Jackson
I'd rather him
shoots.
there than in the 10.
But I mean, we have got
No,
a
but even
problem.
Jackson will overtouch it sometimes. Felix is just, get me in a yard of space, I'm shooting.
But I
Just
don't know
like
I don't know what we're going to do, right? Because if Nkunku ends up staying, obviously you don't want to be here. He's been unused sub for the last 2 games. How are you going to do with a sort of a player that don't want to be here, and he's basically your alternative option as a 9? We're obviously not bringing a 9 in, so that's your alternative option as a 9. He doesn't want to be here. So we're just going to run Jackson into the ground. What happens when Jackson gets injured in the second half of the season?
Maybe we are getting Delap towards the end of the January.
No, but I don't understand, right? If you're going to do a Delap deal, why 3 weeks into the window has nothing happened? It don't take 3 weeks to do a deal.
Because Ipswich still got to go find a replacement too. So
Yeah, but if the price is right, the price is right. I mean, this could have been done. You're absolutely.
This could have been done. Don't tell me you can't get a striker this window. You're seeing West Ham bidding for Duran, Nottingham Forest bidding for Johan Visser at Brentford. You're seeing teams bidding for strikers and teams signing strikers. So I don't want to hear.
What do you think about Visser actually?
Well, he's not really what we're looking for.
I mean, in terms
of
cost, he would, but he's not fitting the profile in terms of age. He's 28, isn't he? So maybe a little bit too old for what
which is kind of mad, really. But I mean, Demba Ba was there last night. We need someone like him, like that sort of profile of signing, like just a bit more of an older striker, like we've had in the past with Giroud, Bar, Loic Remy, like all alternative option strikers that have done a decent job for us. It might sound mad, but it's never going to happen. But someone like Mateta at Palace would be like a good alternative option to have. Bring someone in for 2-3 years as an alternative option. He knows the league. He's physical, got the box presence. It wouldn't be a complete disaster, but we just have to understand now that we're never making them type of signings anymore.
even with Mateta though, it's like he's hit his ceiling. I think I doubt he gets much better than what you already have.
No, he probably doesn't get much better, but it's still an alternative profile. We need something different, and if you're not going to spend big money now, you've got to bring someone in because you can't just carry on with what you've got with Jackson being run into the ground, no competition, no pressure on his place. And you've got an Nkunku that don't want to be here.
You see, we were linked with Vlahovic yesterday. I don't even really
that was shut down straight away afterwards.
Oh,
yeah.
I was going to say, I don't even rate him like that, but I'll take him on an emergency loan for 6 months. Why not? At least have the option there. And if he's crap, you bin him off in the summer. Saves us having to spend the money on him, and he don't even fit our wage structure anyway, so you could split that.
I don't know what we're going to do with striker. Do we go Duran, Delap? Do we go back in for Osherman?
I'd take all of them.
Can't take Osherman in January.
No, we need someone
He's
this
got
month.
clause.
No, he don't want to leave. He ain't going to leave
He's not leaving
mid-season.
in January, no. Honestly though, we're at a point though where I think if we don't get a striker, that could cost us a top 4.
Yeah, I hear it. Either that or just starting that idiot in goal for another week.
Well, I mean, defensively, we've certainly upgraded with Chalobah. I think that Chalobah's... He's either... well, if we look at centre back, he's either our best or our second best centre back for me.
Yeah, right now it is. Yeah,
between him and Colwell, and I put both of them above Fofana because they're available. Better than Tosin, better than Disasi, better than Badiashile as well. Was always better than them. It's not even a brand new thing. I was thinking on the way when I was walking from Barnes train station, I was thinking to myself, who can I compare Trevor Chalobah to what we've had in the past? And I know Azpilicueta wasn't a natural centre-back, but he was very underappreciated. People never really, until he left, understood how good he was. And I feel like Chalobah is in that bracket. And just because he's a homegrown player, you're almost a victim of your own success coming through the academy, because there is a literal price tag on your head that if that money comes in, the club's always going to accept it. But it's, and it's a sad situation, because even with these performances, if he continues man of the match every single week, he's going to get sold.
But they're not thinking, oh, this is like what a great asset we've got.
They're not.
No, but they're thinking, rather than, oh, this guy's great, he's helping us on the pitch. They're going to be thinking, this is brilliant because that's adding more zeros onto his price tag, and that is the completely wrong way to be thinking about things. Like, look at the centre backs we bought in, right? Sort of 3 of the last 4, 70 million on Disasi and Badiashile, and then obviously Tosin come in. Our 2 best centre backs cost nothing. That's the reality. We spent, and if you include Fofana as well, that's 150 million quid on centre backs over the last sort of 2-3 windows. And the best ones we've got both cost us, well, both free. You know, you look at Bournemouth's recruitment, you know, Zabani and Huijsen at the back, that centre-back pairing, the pair of them cost less than 50 mil. That's the sort of stuff we should be doing. Why have we spent 70 mil on 2 players who aren't anywhere near good enough?
They just need to be binned off. And, like, maybe that'll be the case with Badiashile. Now we've got that Mamadou Sarr guy joining in the summer, who's apparently, like, meant to be another Fofana regen. So I actually know, if anything, that'll mean Disasi will definitely be off the books, and maybe Tosin as well. But yeah, like Chalobah, like, we've already known his qualities, because I've always said I watch him whenever he plays for us, and he always just seems to be very consistent. But for him to walk in and drop a defensive performance like that, just keep him.
Apparently, he doesn't suit the system though. 6 months ago, apparently.
Yeah, here we go, and he walks in and like he's the best centre. It's the best centre back performance we've seen in a minute. Just keep him. Keep him and give him the vice captaincy. Like I said on my fan cam, you want to talk about a role model for the future academy players to look up to Chalobah, because the amount of adversity that this club's put him through, and he still just comes in and lets his football do the talking, doesn't say anything in the media, just kicks ball and then just goes home and does his thing. Brilliant. Just keep him. Because, like, well, what is the damn point? You lot tried to replace him, and the options that you brought aren't good enough, and you've had to bring him back reluctantly as well. And he's just come in and shown everyone up. Just keep him. What's the point? Like, because I barely even trust you lot to go and replace him properly anyway. Just have him here as depth. Or, like, not even depth. Right now, he walks in and starts. Just the more reason. Keep him. There's no point now. You lot tried to get rid of him. Your replacements were garbage. You've had to bring him back. What's the point? Sell off the players that you've already got and hold the L.
I mean, it's interesting, right? We're told that we're going to sell all these players this month. You know, there's loads of clubs interested in XYZ personnel. It's funny that we're 3 weeks into the window and there's not been a single bid for any of these players where there's so-called multiple teams interested. So basically, probably there is very little interest.
Tosin's had the most links.
Yeah, and there's probably very little interest, and they're probably just trying to get stuff out there to generate some interest. Because there's no way, if there's legitimately that much interest in these players, that no offers are coming for any of them 3 weeks into the window.
I think the Fofana was disappointing, man. I think he would probably be our best centre back if he wasn't injured.
He's the best centre back if he's fit and playing.
Yeah, he's better than Cole. He's just disappointing in terms of injury. Honestly.
Yeah, I would have a 6-pack if I didn't drink beer.
Yeah,
I hear it. Again, availability, I understand the argument, but Fofana, to me, like, him and Chalobah, that would be a good back two for us to be running. Like, Colwell, I like him. He's still young. He's still getting better, so I give him all the time in the world. But I think Fofana's just outperformed him this season.
And whether he's going to come back this season or not, I don't know. Maresca and Fofana are playing mind games, bro. One says end of the season, the other says, no, I'll be back in 2 weeks. I mean, we're gonna have to.
No,
wait
we're
and
not
see.
going to see Fofana before March.
I think he's
no
already
chance.
back on the pitch, the training pitch, but don't know. But like, I'll give Fofana more time just because he was able to stay fit for 4 months. That's fine by me.
Oh mate, get rid of him. Get rid of him.
No, but people say get rid of
Come
him,
on, man,
right?
why get rid of him?
But
No.
why are you building your team? It's different with
yeah,
Reece
yeah,
James because at
that's
least
different.
you know what? At
Yeah,
least Reece James is
No,
Cobham.
I hear
That's
when
that.
he comes
different
back, he's
argument.
good.
For me,
Cobham,
there's
that means he
other
can
players.
sit there.
Yes, because you didn't pay 80 million for him.
There's
Well, you're
other,
gonna get
80 fucking
There's
million.
gonna get 80 million
For a
back.
player
I
who's
hear it,
always
but there's
injured.
other players I'd rather get rid of. Get rid of Disassi first.
You're not gonna get 80
Toss
Get
in
million
rid
or
of all of
Badiashile.
them.
Toss in or
What?
They're
Badiashile
clearly
is
not
what
good
it
enough.
is.
Fofana is good
Fofana's-
enough.
No, he's
Fofana
not.
Is good enough.
He is good
Fofana
enough.
is good.
Fofana is
Come
good
on.
enough.
How can you say that he's not?
Mate, if I'm not
He's not
available,
best
I'm
at
not
that.
good enough.
No, that's
like,
nonsense.
Forget the
It is not-
availability.
Oh, mate, come on.
Well, what ability has he got that isn't good enough?
Yeah,
The ability to
fine.
stay fit.
No,
Yeah, okay.
ability.
Talking
Talk to me.
football-
The
as
ability to
Tell
go
me-
on a
no,
football pitch.
Tell me,
tell
The
me-
ability to be available for the next
No,
game.
tell me
The
footballing
ability
reasons.
to be available
No.
in a month.
football reasons.
In 2 months.
What?
there's no-
3
So
months.
you've got
There's
no
no
football, no
footballing reasons.
footballing reasons.
There's
why
no
it's not
footballing
good.
That's the footballing
that's
reason. He's not
footballing reason.
available.
That's not a footballing
He's
reason.
not available.
Nah, he's
But
the
what,
best
then
footballer.
again, so we've been off Reece James then.
So in
The
regards
ability to
his
take a
football-
paycheck
in
without
in
actually
regards
playing.
to
Let's
his
get rid of
footballing
Reece
Reece
ability-
James.
James.
Let's
Reece
get-
James is worse than him.
Let's get rid
Reece
of
James played.
Alright, let's
Reece
get
James
rid of
played like 3
Lavia
games
He
too.
played. He played
So what about
yesterday.
Lavia
Come on,
then?
man.
Yeah, let's
What
get
about
rid of Lavia
Let's
too.
get rid of him as well, yeah?
No, but Lavia's been playing. He's been playing. He
Lavia
was
plays
only
one
really
game in
playing.
disappears
Fofana's probably
for a
played more
month.
games than James and Lavia.
That's true,
Like
actually.
Mount
Okay,
nearly
I'll
has
give
as
you
many
that.
minutes as Lavia this season. What are we doing?
No, I mean, look, I can appreciate that a player can be injured at times. I can appreciate.
For me,
that.
it's
I
like
really can.
Fofana has had a lot of long-term
The mis-
injuries and managed to
He's
stay
all-
fit.
every
And he's
single
managed
year
to
he's
stay
had
fit
it, every
for 4
single
months.
year.
The mistake
At Leicester, at Chelsea, nothing has changed.
The mistake is trying to build a team around him.
Yes.
So
Okay,
that's the
that's-
mistake. That's
yes,
the issue. Is trying to build a team around
I
him. When you
agree
can't,
on that.
that's the issue. The player himself is a top quality player. He's obviously got fitness issues. Can't keep himself fit. The mistake here is not his quality. The mistake here is taking the gamble to try and build a team around
That's
him.
a fair point.
That is the biggest issue with it. And it's the same with Lavia and it's the same with Reece James. If you've got 3 players who are very good players, top level when they're fit, the problem is they're not fit most of the time. We've tried to build a team around them. That's where you come unstuck. You've got to look at those guys as like bonus players. As that, like, you build the team around different players, and then if these guys are available, fantastic. But you've got to have, very good starting quality players in the squad to play in their positions, and then if they're available, it's great. But you cannot build the issue is building a team around those guys.
No, you know what? We talk about our team and Maresca and bloody owners and directors spending. Do you realize how much of a massive difference a fully fit Reece James and a fully fit Fofana does to the team?
Massive.
If they are
Big
playing,
difference.
if they're
Yeah,
playing
definitely.
consistently, even Lavia,
Yep.
these, like we said, I said last season in a way of backing Poch that even though it was his fault, a lot of them were injured, but these players like Fofana, Reece James, and Kunku at the time, and Lavia, it changes the whole thing. Like I think Reece James alone right now, if he was playing week in week out, we're having a complete different conversation.
Tell you
about
what,
this season.
if all three of them had been fit for this whole season,
We're having a complete
we
different
could.
conversation.
I honestly think we'd be second.
Yeah, we're having a
I
complete
think we
different
would be,
conversation.
definitely.
Yeah.
Well,
But it's
and actually,
ifs and buts.
But it's
at
that,
the
that's
moment.
just the
Yeah.
annoying
Yeah.
thing.
we were second
We were
until
second.
we started
Yeah,
suffering from these
were,
injuries.
and Lavia was consistently playing. Fofana
Yeah.
was consistently
Then
playing.
we stopped scoring.
And now we've obviously stopped scoring. But yeah, honestly, it's a fair point. If Reece, Lavia, and Fofana are fit for a whole season, then
Complete different
it's.
season.
But the problem is when's that ever going to happen?
What's going on, Lavia? Reece James, Fofana, fine, no problem.
I mean, was
What's going on with this guy?
Is it a hamstring
I don't know, but he said
problem, or-
it's worse than Enzo's injury, and apparently Fernandez is going to be out for at least a couple of weeks. So it's
What's
worse.
going
Than,
on? The guy doesn't even
told
play
a
that
few
much.
days ago that the only worry was this game that we just played. Now it's a few weeks ago.
But he doesn't even play that much. He comes back from an injury, plays maybe
I
a
think he just
half.
stopped listening to press
why
conference at this point.
what I
Everyone
would
just
say
chats
is like
shit.
if you
They-
know that
gaslighting.
Lavia's injury prone, right? Is it not a mistake in hindsight to have started him against Morecambe and then 3 days later started him again against Bournemouth?
No, because I get just like sharpness and everything. Because we did the same thing with Reece James. Ultimately, the guy's just injury prone as
But how
as
can you
fuck
give
right
us
now.
not
think-
even 2 full games, and then you're out again probably for another 3 or 4 matches. Like,
I don't.
How does this keep
It's all just
happening?
been recurring from when we rushed him back against Palace last season. But hey, Poch.
I mean, the players have proven that even with heavy rotation, they still get injured. So I agree with you, Lewis.
But it's the
I
same
think
culprits,
You just
though.
have to get the most that you can while you can.
Yeah,
Because
like,
if it's not
Charlie's
in a
got
match,
a point though. It's just the same injury-prone ones though.
yeah, definitely.
So
I mean,
just don't build your team around them. Simple as that. Just don't do that.
Well, like, just
Fair point.
recall the players that we already fucking have. Like Ugo Chukwu, there should already be announcements about him returning.
He should have started last night. If we were serious, he would have started last night.
No midfield depth on the bench, and you mean to tell me I'm going to walk into the Etihad in the same situation?
You're gonna
Are you
go.
taking
We
the
got,
fucking
mate,
piss?
it's a Dewsbury Hall Caicedo midfield at the Etihad.
The one thing that I had going into that game at the Etihad is we can dog walk their midfield. Now I'm looking at it like, just stay fit, Caicedo, I beg. Because one Caicedo injury curtains.
No,
Everyone was going
the
mad when
Caicedo
he
injury,
was
we're
on the floor.
finished. We're done.
Yep. Wrap up top 4 of Caicedo's out. And here we are running him into the damn ground. What's the depth going to be for the Conference League at this rate?
Well, it's gonna be none.
You're trying to
'cause
sell all
Chukwuemeka
the
gone,
depth.
Cassidy gone. It'll be Dewsbury Hall and Saki playing midfield.
And what, are we just going to
fairness,
wait to react for when we sell them? Bring in the options
I guarantee,
now.
right? Like if Caicedo gets injured in the next couple of weeks, we'll wait till he gets injured, and then they'll recall Ugo Chukwu on like the last day of the window or something.
Yeah.
Pathetic.
It will only hit them last day of the window.
Yeah.
At least with Santos, I get, because I'll be greedy and say bring him, but they got to think about Strasbourg, whatever. Ugo Chukwu should be on the first train from Southampton up to London now. Because he's cooking in the Prem already. Like, what are we fucking waiting for? Another injury? To sell somebody else? It's a fucking point. Like, we have taken the piss in this window.
It's been an embarrassing window.
Only thing we've done is recall a player that they've actively tried to tell us was not good enough for the squad.
And signed a player that we already own anyway.
Yeah, great. for next season,
for next
by the way,
season,
not
yeah.
even for fucking now. Idiots.
We've done nothing to improve the squad this window. Absolutely zero. And there's like what, a week
Directors
or
are
2 left.
sitting on their fucking arse, just doing nothing.
I mean, it's not
Just
good enough,
shit.
mate. And this lack of ambition or this lack of willingness to do anything. We'll look back at the end of the season. If we don't get top 4, this month will be the reason why.
I think defensively.
The last
we've
2 windows,
improved.
let's call it what it is. That summer window's looking worse
Summer
and
window
worse
was
by the
terrible.
week.
Absolutely dreadful.
Let's
summer
break
window.
that down. So we talk about this summer.
Yeah, this summer just gone. Dog
We
shit.
brought in a goalkeeper with the highest save percentage in La Liga just to not use him. João Felix, who the manager didn't want.
yep.
Tossin, who we're told was meant to be an
Who's
upgrade
free.
on Chalobah,
Yep.
all for us to bring in Chalobah instead. Pedro Neto Sancho,
Fine,
whatever,
yeah.
no issues. Didn't address the striker issue. We brought in Mark Hiu, who don't even get
And
pity
we signed
minutes in the
Dewsbury
league.
Hall for 38 mil, who could leave this window.
And the manager again didn't want him. That
And
was a
then-
move from the directors when we could have just got Hermansen in instead, and he would just walked in and started over
And
Sanchez.
Kellyman
And
as
he
well.
understood the
And
style of play more.
Kellyman for 19 mil, who's not even...
Hermansen's better than Sanchez.
No, 1 second. The Phoenix one, listen. Gallagher needed to go. We need someone to come in. Let's just call it as it is, man.
Yeah, but we saw... Yeah,
Whether
but
you
yeah.
wanted them or not, like someone had to come
But
in.
it
to get
showed
rid
that
of
they didn't
Gallagher.
have a plan. Man went from the box striker that we needed to just, who's
Yeah, but that
Atletico
Omorodion
trying
guy,
to sell that we
he's
need?
something-
Felix, alright, cool.
Yeah,
we'll
but something
take
was
him.
dodgy about him.
But it wasn't,
That
because he
much.
went to Porto and he's fine.
Yeah, well, something must have been. I don't know, but for like half the price, it
Yeah.
You
was.
know what? I bet they're
Not
chatting
even-
shit about that too.
But anyway, okay, but a Dewsbury Hall, okay, I think they just like, know what, your best player at the championship, help you out, whatever.
The manager
The
didn't even
Kellyman
ask
guy,
for it.
I don't even know who that is.
And
No,
the thing,
no, the
the thing
Kellyman-
about
the-
that as well is like now that's forced us to get rid of Ugo Chukwu as well.
No, the
All for Dewsbury Hall, who the manager didn't even ask for.
The Kellyman deal was purely financial to get rid of Matson, so we could get money in on FFP.
19 mil for someone that's not good.
We
no.
basically
We not have
did-
used
we
Maatsen
basically
to get
did-
Duran in.
We did Villa a
Yeah.
favour so that they could do us a favour. That was the whole point of the
Yeah,
game.
no,
Duran
I
in.
understand the point of it, but it's just stupid business. You spent the best part of 20 million
Well,
quid.
in terms of a footballing perspective, yes. From a financial point
no,
of view,
but yeah, from a footballing point of view, it's useless.
yes, that's true.
My main issue is the striker. You spent the whole summer chasing a striker. Mainly Osherman, you didn't get one. You look like an idiot. Goalkeeper, Maresca said he wants to keep Sanchez.
Drag.
So we can't look at sporting directors there. They said the guy said he wants to keep him. So that's not sporting directors. And then the Kellyman, what like you said, help Matson, Dewsbury Hall, whatever. It's 30 million. We'll probably get that back from him, you know, or
No, we're
20
not getting that
or 20
back.
we'll get 20 million for him or 25
Oh, yeah,
million. 20
yeah,
like
maybe.
in their eyes they're like, yeah, whatever. Like, I don't think it's as bad as
you're not getting money back.
I don't think that summer was as bad as people make out to
It
be.
was bad.
I think to get Sancho on basically 20 million.
It was bad because
Yeah,
we
that's
didn't-
great business.
Yeah,
I'll give him
Sancho
that.
20 million,
That's great
Neto
business.
like
Yeah, but on the whole,
That's also why Dan Ashworth just got the sack.
But on the whole, we didn't make any improvements really that we needed to make. We didn't address any areas that needed to be addressed, and that's the biggest problem.
Well,
I
just
think-
improve the wings. I'll
I
say
mean,
that.
Jackson last season had a good season.
He did, but
some people did say like
we needed a striker, regardless of whether it was like a top first choice striker or someone that is going to compete with Jackson. We needed that, and we didn't address it.
Adequate competition. It's been 2 seasons, and we still need competition for Jackson.
the striker you can argue, but I think everything else.
We need a goalkeeper. We need a centre back. We probably need another midfield player, whether that's Ugochukwu Santos coming back or whatever. And we need a striker. So we spent all this money, and we basically still need the spine of a team. That's not good enough.
I don't know. I don't think that's someone's bad.
I think that we still have the spine, but
No,
half the spine's not available.
do we need a top goalkeeper? Yes or no?
We've got one. We've
I'd
got,
just
we've
say
got a
start
good
No,
Jorgensen
do we need
more.
a top goalkeeper?
We've got one.
Who?
Jorgensen, Petrovic, more
No,
than
no,
capable.
but so we haven't got a top goalkeeper.
We do though.
We don't know.
We've got a good
We don't know.
goalkeepers.
We
No,
just
for
said
what-
Petrovic
we,
has
we
got
don't we don't know just because we haven't
We
given
don't know.
Jorgensen
yeah, but what
starts.
top goalkeeper for what? To win the league?
I'm just you want to
improve
build a
us, yeah,
team
to
to win the
improve
league.
us.
Petrovic, Jorgensen.
You're not going to win the league with either of them.
You just said to improve us.
We need a top goalkeeper.
They would improve
I
us.
still can't
Yeah.
write off Jorgensen.
No,
Like,
not going to
5
write him
starts,
off.
I beg.
But we need a top
please.
goalkeeper. We need to sign a top level centre back because Fafana's not fit. We need a top level striker
Because
as
we
well.
need experience.
And we could probably do with another midfield player, but Andre Santos is probably going to be the guy to come in and
Yeah,
be
we
that.
don't need any more. That's
fine.
So we are still lacking 3 key positions, and we've invested over £1 billion in the squad, and we're lacking that many key areas. How is that possible?
Well, in terms of the goalkeeping,
It's
I mean, I already
indefensible at
answered
the end of the
that.
day.
Jorgensen and Petrovic are good enough. I put that down to the manager.
Do you think you can win a Premier League with Jorgensen and Petrovic?
And the
Depends who-
sporting
depends who they're
directors, 'cause
playing with.
nearly
Depends who
every
they're playing
time
with.
Sanchez drops a stinker, I see some dumb briefing the next day about how the data shows that Sanchez has the potential to be one of the. He's one of the most senior players in the squad, man. Are talking to me about potential. He's
Sorry,
trash.
who are we talking about now?
Sanchez. I see
Okay.
briefings drop off the bad performances about how the data says he's going to be one of the best in a few years. The fuck am I waiting for with him like he's some 20-year-old prospect? He's been in the league for, 4 years? Got relegated to third choice Brighton keeper. Then we listened to Ben Roberts and we were just like, oh yeah, you know what? Let's wheel in Sanchez. Great.
I mean,
Get
I
rid
think
of him too.
the Jackson one striker is a bit interesting because the way he started the season, people were like, "No, effing needing a striker."
No. It
Jackson.
just went from needing a striker over Jackson to needing someone to
Competition, yeah.
understudy him.
Yes.
Now, regardless, I'll take either or. I don't mind. I just need someone who is a different profile.
But in Kunku's situation's a problem for us because to bring one in, unfortunately, we're going to have to get rid of someone.
It's interesting. I saw your tweet on Twitter. Something about people talking about Poch, or maybe you were saying it to me about. We were talking about Steve, and you know, people saying, "Well, what would Poch have done differently?" You did a tweet about that, didn't you?
No, I was just saying like everyone was doing Poch prop a few days ago. I'm just cussing them out for it.
Oh well. Anyway, like if you look at it from that perspective, I do think that there's a couple of things that would like Poch would have probably dropped Jackson by now. He would have been playing in Kunku, but apart from that,
But
it's difficult
Kunku's
to
a
say.
problem for us now. It's
And
a big
Kunku
problem.
ain't even a 9 anyway.
Exactly, and it's a big problem because he don't want to be here. He's been unused for the last 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a bit confused at the moment. I don't know what we're doing from that perspective.
Well, we're
Like,
not
doesn't
doing
really
anything.
seem like we've got any clear.
I know what we're doing. We're talking to fucking Garnacho.
We don't have a clear direction at the moment.
No, we
And,
don't.
I mean, this is the first time that I'm not going to say it until January, until the end of the market at least, but I would have thought it would have been fairly basic what we're trying to do here. And Chalobah, I do think he improves our defence, so I think we've addressed that short term.
Absolutely.
And in terms of the midfield, we need more depth. Ugochukwu, so that's pretty simple. And then you
But we
need to
haven't
spend
done
some
it.
money on
Well, we haven't
on a
done it.
striker. And the goalkeeping situation, that's up to the manager.
Yeah, we're not
'Cause
changing.
if he's got any common sense, he's going to drop Sanchez. So
That is on the
we
manager,
talk
yeah.
about, you know, a massive, I'm not going to say disaster, but we talk about being let down by recruitment.
We have been
This
let down.
this can all be solved quite easily. We're not talking about a Man United overhaul
No.
at Chelsea. You know, this
But-
is a situation we have a lot of
but
good
what-
players, and they just need slightly better players around them
evidence-
to push them to that next
What
level.
evidence is there to show that they're going to do anything about it in January? There's zero evidence to suggest that. Like, you're 3 weeks in now. If you were proactive and were serious about addressing these things, do you not think they would have been done? Inexcusable not to have recorded Ugo Chukwu. Inexcusable to have not made any inroads into signing a striker. And inexcusable to have not sold a single player this month, despite saying that there's loads of clubs interested in multiple players.
Do you think part of the, because we see it quite a lot with a few different teams, is they wait until late on and then they make a decision? I mean, we've got City away and then West Ham at home. Is that right?
West Ham at home's on deadline day, basically.
Deadline day.
Yeah.
So
Is it? I thought it was after the break.
No, West Ham at home's the 3rd of Feb, I think.
fair
Oh,
enough.
yeah.
But do you think there's a part?
Sorry, just on that quickly. How mad is it that a January window finishes on the 3rd of Feb? What's that about?
Oh, so it finished on the 3rd?
Yeah, January window finishes on the 3rd of Feb. What sort of nonsense is that?
Woke nonsense.
It is woke nonsense, mate. What is that about? January window closing on Feb 3rd.
Hang on, Chloe.
shit, man.
Yeah, I don't know why that is, but yeah, it closes February 3rd. Mental. So on that night, it closes
Do you
against West
think
Ham.
that part of the reason?
Could you imagine West
Yeah, what the?
Could you imagine West Ham at home, Graham Potter back at Stamford Bridge and Garnacho parading at half time?
I will not be there for that. I will not be there for that.
Garnacho going to the Matthew Harding,
Oh,
clapping
no.
right at Lewis.
I think the fans.
And Graham Potter beats us. That would be a terrible day.
The boys gave everything.
This is a,
Wow,
that is
great.
a sick
Oh,
fantasy.
Yeah.
I can imagine in the press conference he'd say, "Nice to see some old friends today in the stands."
Yeah.
Graham Park, man. That feels like yesterday. Milan away,
know.
man.
Oh.
thought
One
we
of
had
the
our
better times.
We thought we had our Chelsea back, man. Milan away.
We thought that it was all going to be plain sailing when we got rid of Potter. Do you think there's a part of you that does think if we'd have just kept Potter until right now, do you think that anything would be different?
I think you could argue that if we'd kept him last season, we probably would have achieved the same things.
I think we would have got 4th in the Carabao, I won't lie.
I think I don't think he does any worse than Poch, by the way, last season if you kept him. I'm not saying he should still be here now, but if you'd kept him for last season, I think there's a very strong chance that he does better.
It's mad, isn't it, when you think about it? All of the decisions going into sacking the managers, bringing in Lampard, Poch, now Maresca, to think that we could still be in exactly the same
I actually
place.
don't think we were ever that bad on the pot.
You
Potter.
look at Man United now, we were never that bad under Potter.
Even on the way we were on the Pochettino, we were always better on the Potter than we were on Pochettino.
Yeah.
I don't think we will ever. I think
Yeah,
it's just
Potter
because
was always the player.
it was just because he's Graham Potter,
Always.
and who the hell was this guy? And
His game management didn't help him, I will say that.
but I don't think it was ever that
But
bad.
man, it started so well. We were like 9 or 10 games unbeaten.
We beat Milan, do you remember?
Milan
that?
away, man. Oh, the good old days.
And then we went to Brighton and
then
got
the owners
bashed.
didn't want Aubameyang to
Yep.
play anymore because of his bonus appearance fee.
And then
Seriously?
Yeah, that's
That's
why
why he
yeah.
never played.
That's why he was out the Champions League squad, mate. He had a bonus clause in his contract, like appearance based. That's why I stopped playing him. It happens quite a lot with players. Like they'll have bonus clauses in their contracts, and they play a certain amount of games or minutes. You've got to pay them money, and you'll notice that players that got that in their contracts, and the clubs don't want to do it, mate. They just leave them on the bench.
Yeah, and then Potter had to deal with half the squad wanting to leave and the other half contract running out. So
And then on top of that, he had no recruitment structure on top of him.
No.
Yeah.
The structure that did come in, what was the guy who left?
What,
after-
Vivell?
Vivell.
Vivell, he left straight away, didn't he? And
Because
then
he wanted Nagelsmann, they brought Poch instead.
see, now thinking about it, we should have kept Potter, not Potter.
For one
Yeah,
more season.
for one
yeah.
more season.
I think it would have made sense. to
Going
keep
through what
Potter
we
one
went
more
with
season.
Poch, I would have apologised to Graham Potter if I ever
Yeah.
saw him.
do you know? Well, I think that season was more painful than last.
What?
What?
22-23 or the
Potter?
Poch season?
The Potter season was much more
No, it
painful.
was not.
What? We
No.
finished 12th, Lewis.
Bro, I ripped that season off as soon as Tuchel got sacked. Poch was a sick joke.
We finished 6th compared to 12th.
Yeah, bro, 5 games. Sorry, that season was garbage. That's the worst season I've ever had watching this club.
Last season.
Yeah, last
Yeah.
season.
No.
Last season.
No,
We had some good moments last
A
season. We had some
disgusting
great
brand
moments.
of football, disgusting manager.
No,
Disgusting everything.
To be fair, it was bad,
United,
though, I mean.
mate. We had some great moments. United at home, 4-3.
Oh,
beating
great, because
Tottenham.
United bottled the lead in a minute.
No, but I'm just saying we
great.
didn't have that this season.
Oh, wait,
before.
beating Tottenham. Wow, when do we do that? Oh,
Not under Potter.
Every year.
Was it not under Potter where we scored like 1 goal in a month?
That's
Yeah.
what I mean, mate. That's what I mean.
You know what? That football was still more funny to
No,
watch
it
at the
wasn't.
time.
It was-
We scored
that
1
was
goal in the
shit.
whole
Poch-
month.
Poch-
Oh my
shit, mate.
god.
Yeah, we did score
Pochettino was
1 goal
like,
in a
this
month,
is what
yeah.
we're doing in our first full season of
How
the
did we
project.
score 1 goal in a month?
Yeah, 1 goal in a month. That 1 goal in the goal. Of the
Oh,
month
yeah, didn't we
competition,
have
yeah.
that in September as well
Yeah,
on the
Fofana,
Poch?
mate. Wasn't it Fofana?
We had that in
Fofana scored
September
1
on the
goal,
Poch
yeah.
too, so...
No, he is,
Yo,
yeah.
Felix came on against Fulham.
Nicholas Jackson,
We
automatic
started.
goal of the month winner against Brighton.
Wow.
There we are.
Love it.
At least
know.
Potter had a good brand of football.
Let us know in the comments, guys. Did you prefer last season or the season before under Graham Potter? But listen, we'll wrap it up there. Big up to everyone that's been watching for the whole episode. Shout out to Ziad, Lewis, and Charlie as well. Check out their channels. That'll be in the description. And another big shout out to Stocks FC. There is a QR code on screen as well as a link in the description. Check them out. It's good fun. Yeah. We'll wrap it up there.